Good morning, everyone. My name is Julie. I am the owner and founder of Lady Faulty. You are either watching this on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel. So welcome and thank you for watching. Today we're going to just do a quick, easy little craft. The necklace is all tied up. And I wanted to just go over a few little things first before we do that. First thing I'm going to do is just smudge a little bit real quick. I have some piece of white sage here. I apologize, this morning I woke up with a splitting headache. I'm sure it's allergies, but needless to say, I'm a little nasally sounding. So, don't mind that. So I'm going to do a little Palo Santos as well. I love the smell of that. All right. So today we are going to be making a honey jar, which I think we've done a couple of them. I know we did at least one back in March, because we did a healing one for Gaia. So I know we did at least one back in March, but harvest season is, so we just celebrated Mabon, which was a couple of days ago. And Mabon is, quick history here, Mabon is the second of 3 harvests. Mabon is typically the fruit harvest, so depending on where you were, depended on what you were harvesting, but for the most part, for us, like, it would be apples. Right now everybody's out apple picking, so apples, your grapes, watermelons, whatever you had for fruit was probably what you would have been harvesting at this time. Mabon is also what we now celebrate as Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, the date was moved later on to make it in November, but it was actually originally like October 3rd, so it would be like next week, which just makes more sense because that's when you're harvesting everything. I don't know about all the other places in the world, but here in New Hampshire on the end of November, there's nothing to harvest. But anyway, just makes more sense to me to be October 3rd. But so it's Thanksgiving, so it's also a time of being grateful and feeling gratitude for what you've been blessed for, being thankful, all those things. So one of the things that is great to do around Mabon is to call in what you would like to have for the next coming year. So you're giving thanks for what you have, but it's also a good time to call in what you're looking for the next year. So we're going to do an intention honey jar today. You can set your intention for all kinds of different things. You can set for love. If you're doing love, I don't recommend, I won't ever tell you guys you can't do anything, but I don't recommend calling in love for someone particular. If you're like, you really have a crush on, the guy at work, and you, do a love spell for him, sometimes that's not the greatest, in my opinion. I know I'm already sidetracked here, because maybe the guy at the office or wherever at work is really not your true partner. And so if you're going to do a love spell, my recommendation is to leave it a little open for the universe. and call in the one that you're meant to be with, or your other half, or your soulmate, whatever you want to use for the terms. But don't put somebody's actual name on it. Just my opinion on that. Because you could be calling in somebody that's really not meant for you if you're calling in a specific person. How many times have we started a relationship and said, he's the one, and like 3 weeks later, like, oh my God, I'm going to kill him. Get him away from me. That happens. So just note to yourself, if you're doing a love spell or calling in love as far as a partner, you might be better off to not use an actual name. If you're calling in like love in general, you just want more love in your life, then you're all set anyway. So you can call in more desire. Married or not married, you can call in desire. Everybody, could use a little more desire. And desire doesn't need to be sexual. It can be creative. There's other things as well. You could be calling in money. That's always an option. You can call in money. You could call in, you could just set an intention for maybe you're calling in a new house or a new car. So maybe it's not necessarily money. Maybe it's an actual specific thing. But again, even if you're looking for a house and one of the problems is financial, you could be calling in money. So really, it's pretty open what you want to be calling in for yourself for your new year. I mean, everybody's different. Everybody's got different things they want. I have several different things that I could be calling in, but I have decided, even though we did the jar back in March, my camera's all out of focus here. It's because I'm moving my hands too much. I'm still going to do a jar for healing. The jar we did back in March was healing for Gaia, for Pachamama, Mother Earth, whatever you want to call her. I think this jar for me is more about the inhabitants of the Mother Earth. We got some horrible stuff going on out there that we're doing to each other. And I will tell you, I do not watch the news. I don't have any news on my Facebook. I don't have news on my phone. The only alerts I get on my phone are for weather. All other alerts I have turned off. But because I don't need to be bombarded with that type of stuff. But I will tell you, I mean, I still get the news. I mean, I still see people every day, and all these other people watch the news. And, if there's really something important going on, something big, I mean, I usually hear about it one way or another. Sorry. I usually hear about it one way or another. So I just don't feel like I need to have that in my news feed on my phone popping up about, all the horrible things that we do to each other. And not because I'm turning a blind eye to it, more because for my own sanity, it gets very overwhelming and very depressing for me to see, another person killed and all this stuff. So I just choose not to, okay? Like I said, if something really important is coming along, somebody I know is going to tell me. My kids, my husband, my parents, somebody will, let me know there's something big going on. But yeah, the only alerts I have on my phone for news is for the weather. So anyway, where was I? Back to my intentions for my jar. Is going to be healing us as a whole, as more like not physically healing, more like a communal healing. If that makes sense. So that whole, can't we all just get along? Before we get started, I know I've already been rambling, right? So, but it's really not going to take long once we get started. For your jar, if you don't know what to put in your jar, private message me, put a comment on here. I will help you. So I don't know if I can even get my jar open. Might be a problem here. There we go. Before we get started, I had a box of tissues down here somewhere. I don't know where they went. Out of reach. I have little short arms. Before we get started, I just wanted to give you a little bit of quick history on the honey jar itself. The honey jar has been around longer than we really know. That's a weird answer, but it's the truth. And so typically when you hear honey jar, nowadays, people either think one of two things. They either think it's voodoo or it's hoodoo. There is a little bit of a difference between the two, mostly the origins. Well, I don't want to say mostly the origins because I don't really know that much about the religions, either one of those religions, so I shouldn't really say that. But what I'm going to talk about today is the origins. So hoodoo comes from the African American people that were brought over here for slavery. So it was kind of the religion from there that was brought to here and adjusted, I guess is kind of the word. It was, they did what they could here from what they learned over there. So hoodoo is the African American religion that was created by slaves that was brought over to the United States. Okay. Voodoo is a little trickier. I'm sorry, my nose is like running like crazy. It's allergies, I'm telling you. I do not have the COVIDs. Sorry. Voodoo is not what you really see on TV. It's kind of been hyped up and made into something that it's really not, which, we've seen the same thing with, the Wicca, the witches, how it has been turned into all different kinds of stuff on entertainment, TV, movies, that it's really not. So don't get your education from movies. I don't know how many times I've watched movies and they talk about a religion or something and I'm like, that's not even what that is, or that's not what they do, or so yeah, don't get your education from entertainment, movies and TV shows, please. I just told you I wouldn't tell you not to do anything, but I really don't. Okay, I don't recommend you get your education from movies and TV shows. All right, so voodoo is a again, what's the word I want to use? It was created off another religion. So again, like the hoodoo was a religion practice that was started off from Africa and brought over here, and it was kind of tweaked and adjusted and made a little bit different. So voodoo is the same in that aspect. Um, Voodoo was created off the religion called, and I probably will not say this correctly, so I apologize. Voodoo, yeah, Voudon. So I'm saying Voodoo. I don't know if that's pronounced correct or not, but that was Voodoo is a religion from Afro-Caribbean, um, primarily in Haiti, but some other other places over there as well. And it is not, Voodoo is not about, what am I thinking now? The dolls, voodoo dolls. It's not a voodoo doll. It's not about voodoo dolls and, zombies and all that stuff. But so yeah, if you're interested in those two things, hoodoo or voodoo, um, I recommend some books. There's really not much on the website about it. I've Googled it a couple of times and I really don't get a whole lot of information. So, you might want to find some good books if you're interested in that. Because I don't know much about it, but it's because I haven't really found much information about it. I've looked, I can't find much. Maybe I just haven't looked hard enough. I don't know. But so when you usually talk about a honey jar, that's usually what comes to a lot of people's mind is it's voodoo or it's hoodoo. And the honey jar has been used way before those came around, before Wicca came around. And so it's been around for a really long time. I can't give you a date because nobody really seems to know. Just that they've been around for a long time. So the honey jar, two of the things I wanted to share with you before we get started is the honey that we're going to put in here is an amplifier, very similar to what quartz does. So honey, there's that saying, attract with honey, right? You attract more with honey than you do with. So honey is an amplifier. So whatever your intention is that you're going to be setting, when we fill it with the honey, that honey is going to amplify your intentions, just like quartz would do. Speaking of quartz, I had some around here I was going to put in here. No, I don't know what I did with it. The other thing is the bee, which makes your honey, represents fertility. Now, don't freak out. Fertility doesn't mean just having babies. Fertility could be giving birth to a new business. It could be giving birth to your new car. I don't know. It's kind of a weird analogy, but fertility is having plentiful, as like if you're having crops and you have a fertile crop, you have lots of crops. And so you can have, if you're calling in money, you could have lots of money. So it kind of ties in that way. The bee also is a messenger of balance, which doesn't necessarily have to do with the honey jar, but I just thought I'd mention it. The bee is all about balance and enjoying the beauty of life. So, and kind of my jar is for people to stop being so people-y and just enjoy life and enjoy each other and stop worrying about everything being so goddamn politically correct. I mean, I know we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings and we don't want to, be name calling or anything like that. But as always with everything, we have taken it to the next step and become obsessed with it. People just got to learn to just let some shit go. And I don't want to say pick and choose your battles, because I'm not saying that these being politically correct isn't important or anything. I'm just saying, I don't know. I see so much of it on Facebook where people are just being nasty, making rude comments to each other. And I tell you, I haven't unfriended people, but I have unfollowed some people. I've also put some people in timeout. Facebook, you can do a little thing where um, you don't see their posts for 30 days. So every once in a while, if somebody's just getting crazy on Facebook, I just put them in timeout. That's about it. So, um, honey jar. You don't need a big jar. This is like it was a little jam jar set. Everybody at work knows that I do all this stuff. It's not a big secret. And one of the ladies I worked with had got, if you guys can hear me. Oh, am I back? Okay, I'm back. One of the ladies I work with had gotten a gift set or a basket or whatever with all the little jams in it. So she gave them to me so I could have all the little jars. So with that being said, the first thing I like to do when doing a jar is I'm lighting my sage here again. And I'm just going to put this leaf is a nice size. Fits right in the jar. If you have a big bundle, you have to just kind of hold it below, but it doesn't go in the jar real well. But so you can see where the jar is filling up with smoke. And so the jar is just, clearing it out. The smoke is going to come back out, but we're just clearing the jar, clearing any energies, anything like that. The next thing I like to do is actually kind of watch the smoke come up, is we're going to blow in the jar. I know it sounds a little weird, but now we've cleared all the energies from anybody that's touched this jar or whatever's gone on with this jar's life. We've cleared all that out. Now we're going to blow into it, which is going to basically fill the jar with our energy, so with our intention. So be thinking about what your intention is, and then go ahead and just blow in the jar. So I will let you guys know there are a couple other things you can do if you want to infuse your energy with the jar. You can use any type of bodily fluid. I won't go into details on that, but blood. Some people do use blood. I do not. I don't want to be pricking my finger. It's just not what I want to do. Other people use other blood, which again, I do not choose to save that. Some people just spit in it. I've done that. I've had a few jars where I've gone ahead and just, I don't like, not like a big old spit, but just, a little bit of spit in there. Or you could use some urine. Or you could use some of your other fluids if you choose. But that's not something I do. I don't save that either. And so I usually will either use just my breath or a little bit of spit. But those other things can be used as well. So, I mean, a lot of people get freaked out even when you say blood, like you could use a little blood. And it's not like I'm not doing it, even if I did use blood, it's not like I'd be doing a sacrifice. It's not like you see on TV where they take a big knife and cut their hand and drip blood into the bowl. You can literally just prick the tip of your finger and just put a drop of blood in. I mean, if you want to use blood. You don't need to do this big whole thing like they show on TV. Again, That's all for theatrics and entertainment purposes. So yeah, if you want to use a little bit of blood, you can just prick your finger and just put a drop or two in there. Not any different than pricking your finger, you know, for, you know, the doctors when they prick your finger for diabetes or whatever different things they prick your fingers for. I'm not a doctor, I don't know, but, you know, there's lots of different times they just go in and prick your finger, and I think maybe for blood typing and different things. But all right, so the next part is to decide what's going to go in your jar. I grabbed a bag of chipstones here. So I'm going to just open that. You can use full-size crystals if you want. I hate to put them in there because once you put something in there, you really shouldn't take it back out. My camera's gone crazy again. Once you put something in your honey jar, you really shouldn't take it back out. So if you got like a favorite piece of something or a big piece of something or whatever, you know, I wouldn't really recommend putting that in there. So I keep chipstones, and I have, where'd it go? Oh, I didn't put it back where it belongs. So this little bag, which is getting overflowing, and it's got all just different kinds of chipstones that I have gotten. Some of them are mixed, some of them are not, and can't see that one at all. It's rose quartz. Some little pieces of pyrite. Ooh, I got some ocean jasper. I've got some aquamarine. So there's all kinds of different stones that I keep, just little chipstone things. So when I make honey jars or protection bags, which we will do in a couple of weeks, as soon as we get into October, we'll start doing some of that stuff. I almost did it today, but I was like, no, we'll wait till October. I'm going to just pour some out into my hand. And because I am working with healing, that's going to be green. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of different greens in here. So I'm going to just pick out a bunch of green ones. I think I'll just use whatever I've poured here into my hand. Just probably enough to fill up the bottom. You don't even need to use that many. I mean, like, honestly, I could just put in one green stone and call it good. But I'm feeling like I really want to really get this one. I just dropped it. Oh, there it is. So now I gotta get the rest of what's back in my hand back in the bag. I don't know how many times I've dropped these, and they're not fun to find when you drop them, especially the like light colored ones on my brown carpet. Sometimes it can take a little bit. I dropped the bag of pyrite ones on the floor one day. I was like, oh my god, I'm never gonna find these, but I did. All right, so you can see there, you know, it's not a ton, it's not a lot, but it's enough to fill up the bottom. And so green is used for either healing or for abundance. And so I'm going to actually combine them, and I'm going to call in an abundance of healing. So that is what that is for. Now I had a bag. I might have to just use something else. But I had a whole thing here of quartz points that I had dug up myself. I'm going to have to use something else. Let's see what I got here. I really wanted wanted to use one I dug up myself. Not that it makes any difference, but I just really wanted to. All right, so I've got a piece here. All right, so I've got a piece here. It's a bunch of the quartz that my husband and I, Wyatt went with me, my grandson went with us. We dug up a bunch of quartz. So I really want to go back there before it gets too cold or before snow gets on the ground and it gets frozen. But anyway, this is a piece of quartz that I dug up. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And again, I just already talked about it, but quartz is your amplifier. So I wanted to go ahead and add that. And then I'm going to find some of my herbs. So I've got these little glass jars I got from the dollar store. There's like 14 or 15 of them. And I've kind of labeled them with the main purpose. And then my little herbs are in bags right now. I would love to have just them all in little jars and each jar labeled, but I just don't have the space for that right now. But then on the back, I have wrote down what this is for. So you can see right here, this one is for soothing, healing, loss, grief, solar plexus, and heart chakra. So this is calendula, and again, I don't know if I'm saying all these right. So I'm going to just put in a little bit of this. And again, if you don't know what's for your intention, just private message me or put it in the comments, because I mean, if somebody else has probably got the same question too. Because I can't go over every stone, herb, oil, what have you, to make a honey jar in a hour-long video. It would be like a day-long video. And so I got some chrysanthemum here, and that is for balance. It is for healing. I've got some other stuff in it. It's a fire sign. It's for duality, masculine, feminine. But I'm picking it again for the healing of it. And they're kind of neat. They're a little flower. They're dried. My camera's not going to pick it up at all. See, there's the bottom of the flower. And so it's dried. So the flower has kind of like curved down around, like where my fingernail is on there right there is kind of like where the stem would meet the flower. If I can hold it this way. See, that's where the stem would be. My camera is just making everything white looking. I'm going to drop one of those in there. Then I'm going to pick some lotus leaf. And again, this one is for rebirth, for fertility. And so I'm going to be using the rebirth part for kind of us to rebirth the way we are. Not like literally, but you know, to kind of take a step back and think about the way we're going and the way we're treating each other and the way we're treating the planet, and maybe rebirthing some changes in ourselves, and then maybe we'll help promote some changes outside as well. So so this is lotus leaf, so I'm just going to put a couple of those in there as well. I'm not measuring anything. just kind of going with my intuition. If you had a bigger jar, you might want to put more stuff in it. You don't need to. The only thing I would say if you wanted to put more stuff in is if you were going to, you know, have it out for a visual. You might want to, you know, fill it up more, but really this size is plenty. You don't need a lot of herbs. You don't need a lot of the different crystals, and you don't need a whole big thing of honey. So, you know. And then I've got a little bit of moringa leaf, and this is for clarity. I've got a bunch of other stuff written on here as well, but I'm going to be using it for clarity. So again, that clarity to kind of to the rebirth. I'm not saying that correctly, but if you've got you're not going to rebirth anything or change anything unless you've got some clarity first. So so we're going to call in some clarity. I just messed up my hair. So I'm going to do this one. This one is actually a powder. So I'm going to just grab my little spoon. This is a Pampered Chef spoon. That is probably made for like jams or you know, preserves or something like that. But it's just a really good size spoon to use to put herbs on my charcoal disc or to put herbs in the jars, and so it just is a really good size. It just fits right in there. It's all oily and dirty because last night I used it to make an incense for Mabon. So that was the incense I made last night. And there's the one I made for Lammas, and I will be making one for Samhain as well. But anyhow, let me close this up before I spill it, because like I said, it's a powder. It will be insane crazy. Let's see. So I'm also going to put in a little, this is a big jar, yes. This is tobacco that's in here. It's ceremonial tobacco. And I like to put in just a teeny tiny little piece. Just a little teeny piece. It wasn't like it's super expensive, or it wasn't hard to find. I ordered it on Etsy. It was fairly inexpensive, and I got a jumbo bag. Actually took some work to get it all in the jar. But the reason I like to add the ceremonial tobacco is, to me, it's kind of ancestral. So it's a way for me to combine my intentions and what I'm looking for with kind of calling in my ancestors to help aid with that. And if your intuition's just telling you like that to put something in, go ahead and trust that. If you don't know why, you can certainly message me and be like, I don't know, I was called to put this in there and I don't know what the heck it was for, but and we can kind of figure out maybe why your intuition called that in for you. Then we're going to go ahead and write our intention down. You can get a little piece of paper. Some people like to take little pieces of stripped paper. I have one jar that's like that somewhere, and you write your intention on it, and then you roll it up kind of like a little scroll and put it in the jar. I like to use bay leaves. The only thing is with this is I'm going to kind of have to break the leaf to get it in there. But so I don't have a lot of room on my leaf to write like a whole big thing. Sorry. So I'm gonna actually just write that I'm calling in humanity. helps if I spell it correctly. All right. Calling in humanity. And I'm going to put that in my jar the best I can. I am going to have to probably break it a little bit. Maybe it will fold. It might fold. I'm trying to do it without breaking it. I should have put the camera down. Sorry. I always forget that. Oh, yeah, it did break. All right. Now, this is the part where you can add, again, anything your intention is, your intuition, intuition, both of them are calling you to bring in. So sometimes it might be a charm. It might be a piece of jewelry, depending on what you're calling in. If you're calling in abundance of actual money, you could drop in maybe a dime or a quarter. If you're calling in a house, maybe you could go get a Monopoly house and drop it in there. You know, be creative. Or if you're a car, get one of the little car from the Monopoly set and drop it in there. You could, you know, really do all kinds of different stuff. If it's a car, you could drop in a key. Or I guess for a house, you could drop in a key as well. So you can kind of drop in anything you want in here. You can put more herbs than I've done. You can put in more crystals than I've done. You can do less. Like I said, you can go ahead and put some bodily fluids in there if you wanted to go ahead and spit in there. I don't really want to spit in there. I've done it in other jars before, but I'm not feeling that I want to in this one. And I think I've done it on live video. I think I've spit in one in a live video. So, but I'm just not feeling called to it for this one. I'm not going to do that. So, you don't have to pour the honey right now if you don't want to. If you're not sure if you're done with it, you can just leave it and pour the honey later tonight or something, or tomorrow or this weekend or whenever you feel like, okay, I'm pretty sure I've got what I want in there. I'm just looking around and I'm not feeling called to put anything else in there. So then you're going to go ahead and fill it up with honey. And for this purpose, I just use cheap honey from the grocery store. If I'm using honey for my sex honeys that I'm going to eat, or for honey like in my tea or anything like that, I buy like a local farm honey or whatever. But for making the honey jar, I'm not going to be eating it. So I'm not that worried about having a super great local honey in there. But all right, so we're just going to fill that up. Close up your honey. Don't spill. I'm horrible for spilling stuff, so we're going to cap that off. Actually, you know what? One more time, I'm going to breathe in it. I thought I was done. I went to put the cover on. I'm like, nope, breathe on it. So I went ahead and breathed on it one more time. And you can leave it just like that. You can see the powder I put in there. Or you can shake it up if you want. You don't need to. It's not going to make a difference if you shake it or not. But it's kind of neat. You can see there's the powder in there. And then when you get onto this side, you can kind of see there's the calendula. I don't think you can see the big flower that we put in there, but yeah, it's kind of a neat thing to look at, right? All the different stuff in there, how it went in. It's kind of a neat. I've seen people post pictures where they're like, I was digging in my backyard and I dug up this jar and it's got some weird stuff in it. I don't know what it is. And it's like, somebody made a honey jar and buried it in the backyard. That's so cool. But people tend to get freaked out about that stuff. But so then we're going to top it off with burning our candle. And I don't know if I have a green candle in here. I guess it's time to get some more candles. I do not have a green candle. So, white candle is universal. You can use a white candle for anything. I bought this little pack of candles on Amazon. Chime spell candles. There was 20 candles in here for like 10 bucks. And I've used all the blue, all the purple, all the green, one of the pinks, one of the reds. They come with 2 of everything. So as you can see, I have 2 yellows left and 2 oranges left. So solar plexus and sacral. No. Yeah, solar plexus and sacral. I haven't done much for those, I guess. So I'm going to just use a white candle. I'm not going to burn this all down now because I have to go to work, but I will just show you real quick. So what I do is you take the bottom of the candle and you just kind of put the heat to it a little bit. Or the other thing is you can do is you can light the top and let it drip. And then we're going to just stick that on there. No, it wasn't fast enough. Let me turn it down real quick. Just for a second. So I was trying to hold it up so you could see it, but then it's too far from the jar. So just heat this a little bit and drip a little bit of the wax on there. And then go ahead and fix your candle on there. That's just going to help it from tipping over. You really don't want it to tip over. All right. And then the next thing you're going to do, I'll go this way, is light it. Oh, it doesn't want to stay up. It'll burn fast. And then you're going to let this just go and drip all around the candle and the jar, and let it seal up that jar as the wax drips down. So I would recommend putting it on a little plate, so you don't get wax all over your table or wherever you've got this setting. But I'm going to blow mine out and relight it when I get home tonight, because we can't leave fire unattended, right? So I will go ahead and when I get home tonight, I will relight that and let it go down. So again, I did that on healing for our people of the planet, all people. If you want to do one and you're not sure what to put in it, you can always private message me or just comment below, and I can let you know what to put in yours. Again, I can't go over every intention, every color, every candle, every herb. I mean, it's just too crazy. I can't do it. So if you, like I said, if you really want to make an intention jar and work on an intention, calling in something for the next year to come, just again private message me and let me know, and I will certainly help you with that. Or if somebody else is out there and has made one, you could certainly share pictures and maybe what you put in it. And I'm not the only one with knowledge on this page. This page has a lot of people that like the page that are really super chocked full of knowledge, not just myself. And so I really would like to get the group a little bit more interactive than just me posting and people liking. And, you know, Facebook tells me that, you know, my page got a lot of views and that, you know, there was people that saw things and, you know, I get some likes and some shares once in a while and things like that, but it's not real interactive. I don't know why that is. Maybe that's just not what the space was meant to be. So, but anyway, if you have done one before and you want to share a picture, go ahead and do that. Or if you make one, and I'd love to see a picture after you've made one. Or again, like I said, if you just need some help, not really sure where to go with it, you can always message me. I can't say it enough to people. Message me. You're not bothering me. Trust me. It may take me a little time to get back to you because I may be at work, or cooking dinner, or the muggle things that we have to do, but I will always get back to you. And if I don't know the answer, I will find someone who does. Okay? So thanks for watching. I hope everybody has a really great weekend. I'll see you guys all back here on Monday for our weekly forecast. I think I'm going to have a little contest maybe going Monday or Thursday. I can't remember. Got a contest going for some prizes. So yeah, I'll see you guys all on Monday. Have a great weekend. Remember to like and share, and remember to be kind. We really need to work on that. Me included. I had a struggle this last weekend where I was totally impatient with a lady, and I had to take a step back and remember, I don't know her situation. I don't know what's going on. Step back, give her some breathing room. Don't act all impatient and grumpy and everything else. You know, if you have to sit here for 60 seconds or 120 seconds, it wasn't going to be the end of my day, you know. So, so yeah, be kind. Your kindness not only is going to change your day, it's going to change somebody else's day, and it potentially could improve someone's life. So, and it doesn't cost us anything. So, spread the love. Thanks for watching. Share and like. Bye.